This week's interview is with Ryan Bast. Ryan Bast's hometown track is Fast Fridays up in Auburn. Ryan Bast will be riding at the Gumball Rally at Industry Speedway. Come see him on March 10th at the Gumball Rally. Now here's the interview with Ryan Bast. This week's interview is with Ryan Bast. Ryan Bast, how'd you get started in Speedway? Dumb question, but how'd you get started?
It's actually a good question because most people think I've ridden Speedway all my life, but that's not the case. I never really rode a Speedway bike until I was 15 years old, actually. So I grew up around it. Obviously, my dad's Mike Bast. He never really wanted us to ride Speedway as kids growing up. And when I was 15 years old, I quit baseball I wanted to pursue a professional motocross racing career. And I had the chance to go out to my Uncle Harlan's track one day, which I guess you could call it a track, not much of a track, but I spun some laps that day and I caught on pretty quick just from watching the video after video after video of my dad's videos. So rode a Speedway bike for the first time when I was 15, and then I didn't race my first race until 1999, and it was a second division on the 30-yard line, and ended up blowing my knee out opening night, and I didn't ride Speedway again until about 6 years ago.
Your first ride, where was that at? Was that down in Riverside or was that up in Auburn?
No, up here in Auburn, yeah.
Where'd you ride motocross at?
Well, I grew up down in Riverside until we were 10 years old when we moved up here to Auburn, California. And I rode motocross down there. We had a private track on our property. I really grew up racing BMX when I was 5 years old. And I raced till I was about 12-ish, I would say. And then I just kind of did some local motocross races up here. Did a couple arena cross races, and that's really the extent of it. So, but I still ride moto to this day.
Okay, here comes the big question. Do you have any 2018 Speedway plans?
Yeah. 3 years ago was probably my best season, and I made the U.S. versus the world, North versus South. I was top 6 in points up here, and that's kind of what I want to do this year. The last couple of years, I've kind of had some splotchy seasons just with our babies being born, and my business is really good and busy. So it's kind of hard to stay motivated sometimes to get the bikes prepped and go racing full time. So this year I plan on being full time, absolutely, go down and do Gumball. And then if I can hit some other races down there, I really want to go do the U.S. Open if I can make that work. So, but I plan on putting in a good showing this year and hopefully making U.S. versus the world, North versus South again this year, and being top in points.
What do you do for a living?
Well, I've been a welder fabricator for about 20 years of my life. Not so much anymore. My dad and my brother, Shane, and myself have a company called Bast Awnings now. And we do sunsetter awnings or retractable awnings on homes.
Okay, so I know your dad is Mike. Is Bart your cousin?
Bart is my second cousin. Yep. So Bart's dad and my dad's dad were brothers.
Do they still have the welding business up there? Is it Auburn or Colfax?
No, we do in Auburn. Yep. Bast Brothers Welding. My Uncle Harlan's running it, and then he's running it with Bart's brother Sammy Harlan Jr.
Do you have any sponsors for riding 2018 season coming up?
I do. I got to give a shout out to my wife first and foremost, my mom and dad, my family, obviously, for backing me in what I do. Ed and Courtney over at Justice Brothers, Billy Hamill. I got the hat here. So Lewis Hughes and the guys over at KW Racewear, Joker Machine, Jeff Arnold, really good friend of mine that I grew up with, Nick Zebroff, Outcast Industries. I don't know if you guys have heard of them. Great people over there. Don and Manya at Do More Fire Systems. Affordable RV, Dora, my friend over there, O'Neill Racing, good old Jim, Ken and Matt, Crystal Waters, obviously Sammy Tanner, Rye Helmets, take care of me every year. And then I want to give a big shout out to J&S, man, the Red Dirt Posse, the Schroeders, John and Sandy and Dustin for giving us a place to hone the skills.
At the track, is there anybody who helps you maintain your bike, turn it between races?
I do all the maintenance and prep on my bike. But when I get to the track, my right-hand man, my cousin Stevie, my uncle's son, is my pit man and my bumper, and he's there for moral support. And he's just a great buddy to have on your side. So he's always there with me in the pits.
When you started riding Speedway, did any specific rider help you out?
I want to say my dad, but he really, he kind of gave me pointers here and there. He didn't really want me to do it. Kind of a funny story. When I started riding Speedway in '99, he actually was going to give me half the business to quit riding Speedway. So my real first Speedway start, I would say, was about 6.5 years ago. And obviously Billy Hamill's always been there helping me out. My dad's now helping me out big time. You know, Bart, my cousin Bart, is always taking me under his wing since then, and kind of showed me the ropes, getting me going on this and that, and kind of showing me bike setup here and there. So I would say those guys pretty much were the background of what I do today.
Do you have any memories of your dad riding Speedway?
You know, I don't. The only memories I would have, he retired when I was about 5. So the only memories I would have would be at the track, not necessarily watching guys ride or my dad riding, but running around the track afterwards, picking up tear-offs and, you know, being in the pits and stuff afterwards. But other than that, it's pretty vague.
You went to Colfax High School. Did you play any sports there?
I played baseball. Yep, I was a baseball player.
And after high school, did the baseball lead into anything else?
It did. Like I said, I grew up wanting to be a professional motorcycle racer and played baseball through the same years. And Dad was like, you know, let's do this. And I was kind of getting into it baseball wise, but I still, in the back of my brain, have always been a big racing guy. That's my passion and my love. So after my senior year in high school, I went to a place called Sierra College, which is a junior college up here in Rockland. And I got drafted by the Anaheim Angels my freshman year. They watched me go on another year, and then I signed a pro contract after my sophomore year.
Where'd you play for the Angels at? Like, was it AAA, AA?
I played A-ball, single A. I was only there. I only played with them for 2 years. I signed pretty young. And as soon as I signed, like 3 days later, they shipped me off to spring training in Mesa, Arizona. You know, it would have been a great experience. I believe I was probably good enough to be big league material, but I just didn't enjoy playing the game anymore. Everything changed. Everyone didn't like each other. You know, your coaches were hard on you, which that's fine. I don't have a problem with that, but it just wasn't fun. I lost the drive to want to play. So I wanted to go racing.
Oh, what position did you play baseball?
Middle infielder, but my main position was shortstop.
Do you have a favorite baseball team you watch at all?
I'm a diehard Dodger fan, baby. I bleed blue. Yep.
Even in Auburn?
That's right. I don't care about these Giants fans up here. I'm a Dodger fan all the way through.
Is there anybody that you went through the spring training with that's playing actively right now?
They're not really playing actively right now. I think Darren's gone now. But when I was there in spring training, we would play in AA and AAA games. And a lot of times you'd see some of the big leaguers come down, like if they got injured or something. So they do rehab in AAA games with us guys in spring training. So I played with Cecil Fielder, Darren Eckstein, who was the World Series MVP the year they beat the Giants. Him and I played together all through my spring training. And then he obviously went to his club and I went to my club. And then my first pro at bat actually was off of A's Todd Van Poppel. Rod Carew, hitting coach in spring training.
When you played in the NHL, did you like being an enforcer?
I don't know. Yeah, I go up against Jason Bonsignor. I can't remember that.
I'll throw the video at the end.
Yeah.
Just a funny video. Any other hobbies that you're into? I see a remote control car in the background.
Yeah, I dabble in that. My father-in-law is big into RC stuff. He's big into the drones and stuff like that. So I mess around with the RC cars a little bit, not a whole lot. My main hobbies are riding motocross. We do some Grand Prix and some hare scrambles up here every year. Bicycles, golf. I love to play golf. I don't get to play enough golf. But that and my kids, man. My kids are, they keep me busy.
How many kids do you have?
I have 3. I have an 11-year-old daughter, a 3-year-old daughter, and about a 7-month-old little baby boy. We finally got our boy, and that's it for us.
Have the girls been on the bike yet?
My oldest one, she rode for a little bit, but she on and off. My 3-year-old, she's really, really into it, but she doesn't like it when I fire the bikes up or work on them that way. But she really likes watching on TV with Daddy. Huge Formula One fan like Daddy. My 3-year-old Elsie loves Formula One. We're huge fans.
Who's your favorite Formula One driver?
Sebastian Vettel, baby. All time Michael Schumacher. I followed Michael Schumacher since '93. But we're Team Ferrari. We like the Ferrari guys.
Have you ever been to a Formula One race?
I have not, and that is my wife and I's goal here in the next couple of years to go to a F1 race.
What's your favorite place to eat at?
You can call me Wimpy Popeye. I'm a hamburger guy. So Carl's Jr. In and Out. I kind of got to go along with what Tyson says. If we're out and about and I'm with the wife and there's an In and Out near, we're going to In and Out. So my wife's a big In and Out fan, and so am I. So, but I like to eat, so I like food anywhere.
Taco Tree or Alberto's?
Taco Tree, baby. No, got a Taco Tree. And if you guys are up here from Southern Cal, there's a great sandwich place. I don't know if you guys have them down south. Beach Hut Deli. That's the best sandwich on the planet.
I think I like the one in Granite Bay because you can go for a ride like a cycle.
Yep,
and
yep.
And they serve beer too.
Absolutely. You go in for lunch and have a beer and a sandwich. Yep.
When I drive up to Auburn, I stop at Beach Hut Deli on the way. It's right off the freeway.
Yep.
So
yep. That's a must. I'm going to do my best. I should, because it's really close to where we live. It's only about 40 minutes from us. A lot of times it's on weekends where we take our daughters and our 3-year-olds in dance now, and she's got some things coming up. So we try and do that. And then a lot of times during the season with work, my business, I get caught up having to work some weekends. So I got to kind of choose and pick which races I can go to, other than Friday nights. I'll be at every Friday night. But
do you remember, was your first D1 ride when you blew out your knee?
That was the first time I blew out my knee was my first Speedway race ever. It was a Division II race at Auburn. My first Division I race was my second season. I think it was I want to say 2012. And pretty funny, actually. I was started on the 0-yard lane, obviously at the tapes, and got through my heat race, got through my semi, got in the main. I'm just creaming, going, okay, I'm on the 0. I know these guys can't catch me. Well, about the third or fourth lap, I think I slipped the groove, and about all 5 of the guys that were behind me went by me, and learned the lesson right then and there not to slip the groove ever again. So you try and not do that.
Do you have a favorite Southern California track?
Absolutely. It's not there anymore. San Bernardino IMS, and then Paris. Yep. I like Paris. I love Paris. I like the bigger tracks. For whatever reason, I don't know what it is, but I do better on the bigger tracks.
Are you going to try to hit Santa Maria or Ventura this year?
I will. Maybe not this year because there's probably going to be national rounds, but I want to do a qualifier next year if they have it again. I know Aaron's doing a petition right now to try and get, so we can get the melting pot of the best guys here in the States to have a great national. So once we get the stuff, taken care of around the household and things are situated, the kids will be a little bit older next year, so the wife will be able to travel. She likes to go, and I like her going with me. So I'd like to do the nationals again next year.
Have you rode at Chance Grove yet? I know he's up there in Northern California.
A few weeks ago, we had an open practice at Fast Fridays. Dave puts a practice on every now and then for us, and Chance went. It was the first time I got to meet him. And, I think he's going to be, another up-and-comer, a young good star for American Speedway. I think he's got a good head on his shoulders. He's smart. I don't see him doing anything, real outrageous. So as long as he stays in tune with his mind and, I think he'll be good.
And we have Colton Hicks this year on the 500 also.
Yeah. So us older guys get to deal with the young kids again. And it can be scary at times, but, they settle in once they understand you can't ride these bikes wide open at times. And if you do, you get in trouble, especially when you're so little like them guys. You know what I mean?
Number 125. Any reason why that number? Is it something special? My
motocross number, and I raced vintage motocross for a long time in the national vintage stuff, and my number was 25, and that's my birthday is the 25th of November. So I've always kind of liked 25. My dad won 7 championships. 5 + 2 is 7. So 125, why not? I like 3 digits.
Your birthday's on the 25th of November. How old are you going to
be? This year I'm going to be the big 40, baby. Yep.
All right. Thank you. Look forward to seeing you. Gumball Rally.
Gumball Rally, baby. We'll be there.
All right. Thank you.
Ryan Bast, number 25. Come see me at Fast Fridays. I'll be down south a couple times, and let's have a heck of a season.